halfway point of the season so far. Just maybe take us through what the first half of the season's been like for you as you kind of continue to get your footing at the NHL level.
Yeah, I think it's been ups and downs. Obviously, it was a slow start for me of just getting adjusted. New team, new systems, new place, new a lot of things. But I think in the last half of the first half, so the last 20-something games, I think I've kind of found my footing of who I'm going to be on this team and how I can make a living.
When you talk about those adjustment periods, who do you lean on? Do you lean on your coaches? Do you lean on family? Do you lean on friends? Like, what does that look like when you're kind of finding your ground?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Obviously, we have a really good veteran group we got Doc, we got Eki, we have Koff, who's played a long time in the league, and you can lean on those kind of guys, but there's also my family, my wife, that I bounce a lot of ideas off of, just making sure that I know who I am and who I want to be and not wavering too far from that.
On the ice, where do you feel like you've made the most stride?
I think just confidence of making sure that I understand the type of player that I can be and when to make a play and when not to play. And that's something I talked to Stewie about today of just there's times to make plays and sometimes there's times to not make plays, and that's the best play you can make. So I think just continuing to build on that of making plays when it's there, but also understanding that it's not a make or break play every single game.
Now, does that come down to decision making, timing, rhythm, feel of the game, knowing like? What does that ultimately come down to?
And that's the hard part. There's a little bit of everything. Sometimes your legs aren't there, so you might be a little bit later to a puck. Sometimes the ice might not be cooperating with you, so it's just not feeling the way you want it to feel. And other times it's just confidence of knowing what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. So that's the hard part about hockey.
When you mentioned the who of what you're learning about yourself, who you are on the ice, how would you describe yourself?
I think just consistent that's something that I've talked about with media before of a lot of times if I'm being a quiet player out there and just making sure that I go unnoticed, that's probably a good thing of making sure the puck gets in the forward's hands clean and making sure that I take care of my own end.
When you are in this beginning spot of your career, how do you kind of practice, I don't know if compassion is the right word, but as you are really like making these huge steps in growth towards who you want to be, but also sometimes there are those bumps.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is just showing up to the rink every day with a smile, of being one of those guys who is excited to be at the rink, not in a bad mood because they're tired or whatnot, of making sure that you show up with a smile every day and being a guy who tries to bring energy and is just consistent in the way that they go about their business, making sure that everyone knows what they're going to get from me.
We just heard from Stan about how much he can see and loves how well this group gels and the chemistry. How much does that help you on a day-to-day basis when you are in a group that just has a lot of fun?
It helps a lot, for sure, of knowing that everyone out there is going to have your back, where right away it was a slow start for me, and I think a lot of that is just comfortability in the locker room of not knowing that many guys. I'm a new guy in there, younger guy in the league, but I think the last couple months has gotten a lot better of making sure that guys reach out to me, making sure that I have people to go to dinner with or I have someone to talk to or sit by at lunch. So I think that's helped a lot, and just you can see it in the game that we've built in the last couple months of guys selling out for shots, guys making the right play and not being selfish.
How about McDavid and Draisaitl being teammates with them for an extended period now? What's something that you're able to kind of extract from their routines, their day-to-day, that you can kind of apply to yourself?
I mean, they're the best players in the world for a reason. I think you can see that in practice of how hard they work and making sure that they're on the top of their game every day, whether it's warming up, cooling down, taking care of their body, but also just in between periods if they're always talking about a play that they saw, whether it's a power play or a 5-on-5. Even last night against Pitt, they were talking about picking up something from the other team of like something that they saw Crosby do, of whether it's on the forecheck or the neutral zone, just picking up minute things that a lot of people wouldn't notice, but they're just so detailed in their games. I think it shows.
As a young guy trying to find his way, how do you make sure that you don't get overwhelmed but with so much coming at you, the speed of the game itself too? How do you make sure that doesn't happen?
I think you try to just shut it off. The first couple of games in the league, and it still happens now, if you're going up and you're playing Crosby for the first time, you're playing Ovechkin for the first time, or playing so-and-so for the first time. And sometimes you're in warm-ups, you're kind of in awe, but then at the end of the day, it's my job to try to stop them. So you got to kind of shut it off.
Maybe not this year, perhaps last year in your opening 30 games in the league. What was your welcome to the NHL moment? What was that?
Last year in Colorado, I tried to hit McKinnon. And I thought I caught him more by surprise, and I did not catch him by surprise, and he got me pretty good. So that was a good one for me.
That's a good one.